Okay, great. Then I'd say let's start, and I will start with like the official introduction, if you're
Okay.
okay. Okay, great. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melanie Lahan, Business Development Manager at Avado Training and Education Services, and in the name of Jens Mendler, who invited you but who's currently traveling, I would like to welcome you to learn more about the CMDSP certification. We think we have a pretty exciting opportunity for you, and with that, I'd like to hand over to Peter Coddington from the Mobile Resource Group. Peter, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Melanie, and thanks for joining. The CMDSP, the Credentialed Mobile Device Security Professional, is an IT certification that was created here in the United States, specifically the Baltimore area, in about 5 years ago, 2012. And it was created from a group of people that run a bigger IT certification that many of you may have heard of called CISSP. So there was a group of us that came together and decided that there was a credential needed for mobile devices, iPhones, Androids, being used in the workplace. As these devices are used, not just in our personal lives, but increasingly for work, industry, IT departments, corporations, organizations around the world needed a way to codify and credential and certify that IT professionals could be mobile IT administrators within the organization so that data could safely and securely traverse these devices in the enterprise and in the work life and the work environment. So with that, we created this credential about 5 years ago. Most credentials take time to grow. This one has really started to blossom in, I'd say, the last 18 months. We have people in Hong Kong, we have people in India, we have people in Europe. We have, of course, people here in North America, and it's growing very, very fast as we get our candidate pool. We don't have yet 1,000 candidates, but we're getting very close. And with that, I'll explain what the CMDSP is. And I think you see the first slide, and this is where we're located. We're coming to Europe. We have a European office in The Hague. We're going to be there February 20th through the 24th or 25th, that Friday. I'll be there. We're having many meetings. We're ready to talk to anybody while we're there, and we'll probably continue to do that with that office that we've opened up in the Netherlands. We also have an office here in Baltimore with training facilities. I'll introduce you to the rest of the staff at the end of the presentation. But with that, let's go ahead and go to the next slide if we can. Devin Garcia is here, by the way, and he is our mobile credentialing expert, or the person who runs things around here. Is that a fair statement?
Yes. Yeah.
So why is mobile IT a specialty now? Well, this is a little history here. Everybody knows about BlackBerry, and as everyone recalls, BlackBerries were universally used. The word crackberry was used because people were addicted to them and using them all the time. And it was the advent of mobile device use in corporate and government use throughout the world. It was a closed system. It ran on a BES server. They owned the hardware. They owned the software. It did very, very well. They really were a market leader. But then what happened was the iPhone came out, and then the consumerization of IT products started, where people started using the iPhone in their personal life and then started to bring it to work. Same with the Android. The Android copied the iPhone to grow. So now you've got iPhones and Androids and not as many BlackBerries. BlackBerry's discontinued using their hardware, and now they're a software company, although their hardware is still supported as a legacy piece of equipment. So with this in mind, now IT departments around the world need an IT specialist that's a mobile IT administrator in their environment to run this, to run the fleet of iPhones and Androids, to manage them, to make sure they're secure, to actually then but keep up with people's interest in doing their work through apps, what we call appifying workflow in organizations. So this is a big market, and it's a big opportunity to get people trained in an organization to do this work. You know, the challenges are there's a lot of different devices, tons of them. Android's got many platforms, iPhone's out there, the Windows phone is coming out and is out there to some degree and will grow. There's a lot of apps that are coming out, both commercially apps that are available on app stores that come into workflow areas to do work. You know, you might have an app that helps track your vacation time at an organization, or an app that helps you sign documents. I mean, you're going to do less on your desktop and your laptop and more on your phones. And it's about designing workspaces that can fit in a little, 3 to 5 inch space, which is hard to do. But with vocal commands and pull down menus, you can do more on these devices than you might think. It just has to be reconfigured and reprogrammed to do that. Really, the two big pushing points are consumerization and deperimeterization. So consumerization I touched on, that is people bringing these devices to work. It used to be when you started a job, you got a laptop, you got a BlackBerry, it was issued for you by the employer. Now people are bringing their own devices. So corporate IT departments are going, oh my God, now people are bringing their own stuff in here. The BYOD program with bring your own devices started to move in. And now IT departments are no longer in control of the hardware that they're giving out to their employees. They're bringing their own. This big disruptive, revolutionary change, consumerization of IT. Deperimeterization of IT security. The data is everywhere now. It used to be within a firewall, within your organization, on the servers. Maybe you VPN'd in to get the data on your laptop from home, but it was relatively secure and kept with a moat around your data. Now the data is everywhere. It's on your phone, it's in Google Docs, it could be a Dropbox, it's everywhere. So now the perimeter that used to secure corporate data and corporate intellectual property is now everywhere, and it's diffuse, and mobile's had a great deal to do with that. Let's go to the next slide. And if there's questions at all, I see the chat box here. You can go ahead and ask questions, and I will see them and answer them in real time. So if anybody has questions, go ahead and ask them. And if you see something there, Devin, let me know. Okay. My eyes may not always reach that spot. Sure. So corporate IT departments are really burdened today. First of all, they're oversold to. There's everybody selling an IT product. There's software salespeople. There's hardware salespeople. There's so many new technologies coming out. They're very busy. They're oversold to. They're understaffed. They're under budgeted because now IT departments really require a lot of money, and CEOs and people in charge of organizations are tired of giving so much IT money to the IT shop. It's really gotten to be a big, I don't know if you call it a problem, but the money has shifted so much towards IT in the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years that they're very busy, and they're always struggling to get what they think is more money that they need, and generally they do. So those are some of their challenges. Computer security. I mean, when don't you pick up the paper and somebody's getting hacked? Cyber attacks, attacks here, attacks through mobile devices, attacks through all sorts of things. There's all sorts of adversaries out there, so they're worried about that. The consumerization and people bringing their own devices to work. The common lament is a CEO says, I want to use my iPad for work while I'm on vacation in my summer house. This is really what grew the business, quite frankly, was people on top saying, I want to use my iPad instead of a laptop. That's what really started this business, because when people at a high level want to use an iPad, then the IT shops have to listen to them. Not to mention the employees wanted that. So that's what really started sort of the BYOD consumerization of things. Intranets. Everybody knows when they work in an environment, there's always like a company website, an internal website that you go and maybe log your vacation hours, or you go and schedule your travel if you're traveling for a job, or where you go to order equipment you need for your job, or where you go to get operating manuals to understand how to do your job, and a myriad of things that are done through company websites that are internal to the organization. Those are moving to apps. This is a big, big revolution. It hasn't quite started as quickly as most people thought, but it's going to move very quickly. And CMDSP helps people understand, IT people understand how to manage that and do it. Everyone had Windows and Microsoft. Now there's an Apple operating system out there with these iPhones. Totally different operating system, totally different set of software. That's a challenge. That's why CMDSP is there. Android, also different than Windows. Java-based, different operating system. This puts havoc on an IT department. They need to retrain their staffs to understand new operating systems that are entering their enterprise. It isn't just Windows anymore. Now it's iOS, and it's also Android. The firewalls and perimeters, as we discussed, are getting harder to mark and delineate as a moat. It's just no longer possible because the documents are everywhere. And, that's where data security and documents and IP come in. That's the next slide. So here we go. This is about certifications. And we did a program here. We did a study about the cost of a 4-year education. You'll see that bottom bullet there addresses it. The cost of going to school for 4 years. And believe me, I'm a fan of universities. I sent my kids there. I went. I think, getting a 4-year degree in an undergraduate university degree is important. But, if you go to school and you get an undergraduate degree in, say, philosophy or history or something like that, you generally come into the work world and then need to be retrained with a certification for what you do. So the bottom bullet shows that 2% of college IT grads, these are people that go to college and actually get a degree in, let's say, computer science, that 60% of the salary they have, with a CMDSP, you'll get if you can go to college, you could get 67% of the salary with a CMDSP, and you wouldn't have to wait 4 years. This is a phenomenal statistic. And this is based on factual information on the certifications of IT. So a certification, an IT certification costs maybe $2,500 US. A college education could cost at least $100,000 US. Takes 4 years. With a certification with $2,000, you are ready to go to work. You wouldn't have the undergraduate degree, but you would be ready to go to work. So a lot of people need the IT, whether they go to college or not, the IT certification. And you can see how important it is for employers. Employers want to know that their employees that are running mobile for their organizations have passed a test by a credentialing organization like CMDSP. So here, these stats all sort of speak to that. Let's go to the next slide. This is a slide that shows the rise of mobile use in IT, really the rise of mobile use in the workplace. You can see, I think it's sort of self-explanatory. On my way to work today here in downtown Baltimore, I was stopped at a stoplight with all the other traffic in the city coming into work, and there was a traffic cop there, and in the middle of the road, thumbing their phone. I was thinking about it. When you have a traffic cop in the middle of a big city thumbing their phone, and really, no one's surprised at it. I was a little bit. That's not the place you work on your phone, but that's how prevalent these devices have become for all of us. They're sewn literally to our palms, especially with younger people that corporations and organizations are trying to recruit. The younger people coming in want to make sure they can do their work on their phone and not be forced to work at a desktop or a laptop. So this is also important for organizations that want to recruit youth. You can see the numbers here. And if there's any questions on this, you can just ask in the chat box. The group is small enough that we can make this somewhat interactive rather than me just talking the whole time. But you can see these facts are pretty self-explanatory. This is, I think, a given, and most people would not dispute the rise of mobile devices in the workplace. Let's go to the next slide then. So, CMDSP to the rescue. So we've created this credential, launched 2013, really maybe as early as 2012 it started. We create and certify mobile IT administrators. We create the trainings, the study guides, the instructor manuals. We give it to authorized training centers who give the instruction. The instruction usually is a 2 to 3 day course. Most of the training centers charge between, say, $1,700 US to $2,500 US. We have a training partner in Ireland, CWSI. I encourage you to see their website, cwsi.ie. They were one of our first European training partners, and they are training 50 people a year and charging something like 1,800 euros for the training. And the materials that they buy from us are probably maybe $200, 200 euros. So for 200 euros to buy the training materials from us, then they get as much as 1,800 euros for the course. There's a lot of margin in that, and the training centers are interested in that. But what we do is we help identify the enterprise mobility skill set information technology professionals do. We have the data. We've collected it through surveys to understand what the job is. We did a job task analysis study, and we have that available. We are available at 900 testing centers around the world. So in the Netherlands, for example, of which we're familiar because we're going there in a couple of weeks, I think there's 8 criterion centers, 7 or 8, Devin, something like that, right in the Netherlands, where you can go and take the CMDSP test. You can self-study and buy the book directly from us and then go take the test if you wish, which is less expensive. And a lot of IT people like to do it that way because they think they can do well. But we strongly urge people to take a preparatory course from one of our training partners because it's not a simple test. And the material is, moving fast and new. We update our materials, by the way, twice a year. So we keep very, very up to date. And the credential lasts for 3 years after you pass the test. Then at the end of 3 years, because things are changing so fast, there's not any continuing education credits that can maintain the credential. We force you to take the test again at the end of 3 years just to make sure that our candidates are fully versed in mobile IT because it's just changing too fast. So you need to retest in 3 years. You can see it's one of the hottest skill sets according to the Computer World Forecast. And so that's what we do a little bit. We'll talk more about it. Let's go to the next slide. And any questions, just send them in if there are any. But here's the credentialing process, and our CMDSP Information Candidate Handbook is about, Devin, 27 pages?
Yes.
And it's available online. You can go and, give us little contact details, and then we send it to you, and it goes through everything, how the credential runs, the governance of the credential, because any credential that is sanctioned and follows ANSI protocol has to have a lot of governance. And the candidate handbook is available to all prospective candidates as well as those who pass to understand what the governance is. But this is the process to get the credential. You submit an application online through our website. It's all done electronically. It costs $395 for the application, and with that you get the student study guide. After whatever time you feel necessary, you've studied, you can go ahead and then sign up for the test at any criterion center, and that costs $125 US. You can take the test as many times as you wish until you pass, hopefully the first time if you study, and probably the first time if you take a preparatory course, which we'll talk about in a minute, which we strongly urge. If you need to take the test again, you need to pay the testing fee again. And then you get to credential for 3 years. Now, we also list on our website the training partners that offer training. And training's a good idea. This is new material, and I'll go through what's covered in the credential here in a minute. It's new material, it's changing fast, so we think preparatory classes are a good idea. They cost more. Self-study is available, but preparatory courses are strongly urged, and our partners do a very good job at doing the training. And when they charge for the training, that includes the $395 application fee as well as the study guide. Let's go to the next slide. So this is our mission statement, if you will, and this explains what we're driven to do. We're driven to sanctify, codify, certify, and credential mobile IT administrators in an organization, a corporation, a company, a government agency, a non-government agency, an organization, a nonprofit, whatever it is. Anybody in an IT department that's in charge of overseeing a fleet of iPhones or Androids, whether owned by employees and operated in the sanctity of that employment organization or issued by the employer, whether it's an iPhone, an Android, or a Windows device, that Windows tablet or phone that is used by employees and issued by the corporation. So anyone who has to manage those, this is who it's directed towards. And finding vulnerabilities on where dangers could be in letting data be sent out on those devices. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, this is a very important slide. These are the 4 domains of knowledge that we test for, we train for, and we test for. These domains are very important to us. This is what we cover. The first 3 are technologically based. So all 3 of those are based in how things operate. The 4th item there, mobile administrative job functions, is really the job tasks that mobile IT administrators are faced with in their organization. how to deal with HR, how to do reimbursements for employees on their data plans and their phones, how to pick a mobile device management tool and other software tools that are used in the corporation enterprise mobility management strategy. And all of these acronyms and ideas and thoughts are covered in 4, which is really half the course. A lot of room spent on 4. 1, 2, and 3 are technology. How do these devices operate? This is a way to understand at not just a high level, but we get fairly deep on these 3 topics. The first topic is the hardware. You know, what are the sensors in the device? What are the chipsets in the device? What are the different hardware platforms available? What are the different brands that make the hardware? You know, the difference between a laptop and a mobile device is that a mobile device has 17 sensors in it. A laptop does not. For example, a mobile device knows if it's how hot or cool is the temperature around you, how fast you're moving with an accelerometer. It can also have a camera that picks up pixels. There's a lot of things in a device that's a sensory tool that makes it mobile. And understanding what those are very important to applications that improve an organization's drive to mobility, but also how to protect data that is going through those devices to make sure that those sensors are controlled in a certain fashion. So 1 is all hardware. 2 is software. And we've spent a lot of time on 2 and 3. 2 is software about the iOS device, the Android devices, and the Windows mobile devices. So this gets into the operating stack of the software from the highest level you see on the screen down to the kernel that runs that hardware in the device, the operating systems and their vulnerabilities in those devices. And we're very rich in that area, and that's what really makes CMDSP stand out as a credential. This is all originally written material, originally sourced by experts around the world that have put together this data into these documents and into the test. We also look at the software that's in an app. You know, when you download an app on your device, that's another set of software in addition to the operating software that's on the device. So we look at that software stack and the generalities of that software when you download an app. Then we also look at the software that's in the cloud. So a lot of times the device is reaching into the cloud and using software in the cloud, and the device is a mirror, and it's session-based, and it's just taking software and data from the cloud. So we look at the software in the cloud and how it interacts with the device. This is very important. This is cutting-edge stuff, and this is where the world's going, especially when you start talking about the Internet of Things. You know, it's not a big jump to go from mobile devices to IoT. So we brush on that a little bit, but primarily what we're talking about are the devices and how they operate. Number 3 is the connectivity to the device. How does data get on and off the device? It gets off through cell signals. It gets off through Wi-Fi. It gets off through Bluetooth. It gets off through near field communication, NFC. It can get off through being tethered. Any way the device connects to other computers is very integral to security, whether it could be a man-in-the-middle attack, how the information flows, the performance of the information coming back and forth. All of that has to be controlled and understood by the mobile IT administrator who is a CMDSP. So the first 3 are technologically based, and that's done in 1 day. That could actually be done in perhaps more than 1 day, and some training centers do elect to do it in 2 days. And number 4, which is now the soft skills of being a manager of your mobile IT department and the challenges you have and how you run things, how you design BYOD policy, for example. That is also almost, it could be a day, and in some cases 2 days. This is very important. This is what the credential tests. This is what you learn. This is the heart and soul of the credential. Everything we do at this credential is about making those 4 points up to date, valuable, and relevant for mobile IT administrators in their organization. So this is a very important slide. Let's go to the next slide. If there's any questions, please ask. So how do you become CMDSP? I think we've talked about it a little bit. Sorry, this slide is about a table in a lobby. I then changed that. We did this slide at the show, I think. But you can visit a training center, and the training centers are on our website under the training page. You can then take the test in any test center around the world. You can go to the criterion page, and Devin will help any prospective candidate. We get questions all day long. How does it operate? This is not the kind of organization where you send in an email and then wait for another email. You can call, you can email, we get right back. within 24 hours, we get right back, if not sooner. We're very big on that kind of customer service, very big on that. We provide the course materials through Arvado, who is our new distributor. That's worth mentioning. Arvado, tremendous company. Arvado Bertelsmann, based in Germany, international company. They found us, and they were looking for a vendor-agnostic mobile security credential that works in the enterprise. We're the only one in the world. We can talk about our competitors. We had CompTIA Mobility Plus. They couldn't do it. They went out of business. We have SANS with GMO, but they do more forensics and study compiling data for law enforcement, not how to run mobile devices in an enterprise. And that's it. Other than that, those are the only ones. So there's really only two. One does forensics for law enforcement, and there's CMDSP for mobile IT in the enterprise. So we're the only one in the world that does this. Arvado found us. We are now vending all of our materials through the Arvado Skill Pipe and Course Catalog. They handle everything. They're very big and very well resourced to handle all the work. So that's fantastic for us. And then Criterion handles all the tests. So we're set up for massive distribution throughout the world. We also look for sponsors, which are founding partners. These are people like Apple and Samsung and Mobile Iron and AirWatch, BlackBerry, people like that, that want to be part of the credential. But as a sponsor, they have no influence about the materials that we cover. We're very, very big on making sure that that's the case. I mentioned the materials are updated twice a year. Let's go to the next slide. Devin, thank you, sir. That's it. These are my contact details. You send it to me, I'll give it to Devin. Devin has contact details too. With that, I guess let's pop open the study guide if we can.
Yeah, sure thing.
I'll show you very quickly what the study guide looks like. This is the study guide that students would see. It's, I think, 133 pages, so we can't go through it, but let's just go look at the table of contents if we can, Devin.
Sure.
There's a foreword. There's domain 1. This is the hardware review. Let's go to the next.
Sure.
So you can see this is the table of contents for domain 1. Let's go down to the next domain.
Okay.
And this is the kind of material that's covered. And this is the domain 2. This is the operating systems and the software. You can see the types of things we cover. We're very proud of this. This is you won't find this material other places. I mean, writing about Apple's software stack is no easy feat because Apple's very protective. You know, you really have to spend a lot of time with Apple to understand their system. If you go down a little bit, we can show certain things about the software. Keep going, Devin, to the stack comparison. I'm not sure if that's in there. Maybe not. Okay, I think that's in another. But we cover a lot of things in here. And that's the pupil study guide. Very proud of it, actually, and it's available through Arvado. Let's bring up the instructor deck.
Sure.
So this is what the instructor is armed with to give the course. Let's go ahead and go to the first slide, Devin. Okay, so this is the first slide, and go down to say item 2. Software. So the instructor is given this deck, which is 222 slides, and it has notes in it that cover all the various items. Just page through some of this stuff, which is to give people an idea of certain things we have in here. Keep going if you would. And this is updated twice a year. We have a committee of experts that are in all the certain facets of mobility that update this. We are going to use the Arvado new system called Chaucer. It's a collaborative tool for our experts around the world to update the materials. And you can see what we have there. I think that covers things.
Mm-hmm.
Then show them the candidate handbook, if you would.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Devin, you're doing a great job. Thanks for doing the AV stuff.
Sure.
This is the candidate handbook that anybody can get anytime. This explains how you become a CMDSP, what you're entitled to do as a certificate, how it works, how you appeal. All the governance is in here. So this is available. I want to show our brochures.
Okay.
And then, we have all the sort of marketing brochures too.
Which one did you want to start with?
This is a marketing brochure that shows the course. And we have a lot of marketing here, a great deal of it. Go ahead and toggle through a little bit. But, all of our marketing materials talk about what the course does. This is really about the course. Keep going, Devin. Talks about the 4 domains. Keep going if you would. And then we also have, let's show the ATC marketing brochure. This is something for the Arvado team and for anybody who wants to become an approved training center. We have brochures that explain how it works. We have a contract that the approved training centers sign up for. We have a way to certify instructors to teach CMDSP. These are all the facets and information about mobility in the workplace. These are the sections that are covered in the domains. And I think that's about it. Are there any questions? No questions? Okay. I guess with that, I could parade the staff in here to take a group photo if you're interested, Melanie. But I think with that, I think I've covered the materials.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I'd just like to ask the team whether anyone has questions who's on the line. But I think it was pretty extensive. It was a great overview. Very interesting. Lots of information I didn't know yet. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thanks for having us come over to Europe. I'm looking forward to going to Amsterdam and having a beer and maybe skating on the canal if it's frozen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Are there any questions at all? If there are no questions now, we're available via email. Our emails and everything are on the website, and you can call, you can email, whatever you feel comfortable with. We love to interact and answer questions. So whatever we can do to further promote, we really want to make the world more mobile. We believe employees are happier if they can do their work through a mobile device, and that's what drives our organization and the employees here, of which you can't see. I should bring them in, but I don't want to belabor our video any longer than it is. So if there's any questions, I can answer them. If not, I turn it back over to you, Melanie, and perhaps we're done. I don't know.
Excellent. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I don't think there are any questions right now. I just see happy people in the chat who say thank you for the presentation. I suppose you will send on the presentation slides, and once a recording is available, we can share that then as well. Thank you very much, Peter.
Devin will send all that out to you, Melanie, perhaps you can then distribute.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and see you in Europe.
See you in The Hague. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.